Good evening and welcome to the Dodge Sports Sunday on Fox Sports 1. I'm your host for the next 30 minutes, Cordell Patrick, as we take a tour through the National Basketball Association. Our marquee matchup tonight features two of the hottest teams in the league, the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Lakers. First stop, South Beach and the Heat. They've won 18 games in a row. That is a franchise mark. And when you talk about Miami, you have to start with one, King James. LeBron James, he is averaging 28 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists during that phenomenal run. There's a two-headed monster that resides in South Beach, Dwayne Wade, or Wow, as he likes to call himself. That is his new nickname. I don't like it. I have some advice for Dwayne. Go back to Flash. This ain't working. But I digress. He too has been playing well. 25 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Their opponent tonight, the Los Angeles Lakers, have won 4 games in a row. It's been a tumultuous season for the Lakers, firing of a head coach, players injured, and the passing of Jerry Buss. But Kobe Bryant guaranteed a couple of weeks ago that the Lakers indeed would make it to the playoffs. Right now they reside in the 8th and final position. Well, this is what I want you to do. In the meantime and in between time, I want you to stick and stay. There's more on the way. On the Dodge Sports Sunday, I'm Cordell Patrick on Fox Sports 1.
For one to call on for a second phone line.
And good evening. Welcome to the Spurs Center. Cordell Patrick with you. Our feature presentation, the San Antonio Spurs and the defending NBA champion Houston Rockets. This is their first meeting of the season. They did play in a preseason game, which the Spurs winning in Mexico. Let's take a look at some stats. Dennis Rodman removed from the suspended list today. He's been there since November 12th. The big question is, can Dennis help this club? He led the NBA in rebounding. There are some numbers. When you compare last season for the Spurs, the 93-94 season, compared with the 94-95 season, there has been no Dennis Rodman this season. Spurs were first in rebounding last year. Offensive rebounds, they were second in defensive points allowed. They're down in every category this season. And we bring in Kobe Dietrich, the former Spur. And the big question is, will the hair color of Dennis Rodman help this club?
This is the Dodge Sports Sunday with Sports Director Cordell Patrick.
Well, good Sunday evening to all. The Chiefs' search for a primetime running back may have run into a little snag. Reports out of Cincinnati say that the Chiefs have now backed off of free agent running back Corey Dillon. Dillon is considered the top free agent running back in the National Football League. Chiefs flew Dillon into town this past week for an interview. Now, the talented back, he has some history, you may have heard, so Gunther wanted to make sure his head was on straight. Unfortunately for Mr. Dillon, he missed his first flight to Kansas City. That's not a good thing. The reports say that the Chiefs have backed off and that the Bengals have taken their first offer to Dillon off the table and have now offered him less money. We will just have to wait to see what will happen on this one. Well, $1 million at stake at match play at Carlsbad, California. Tiger Woods, he says this is his best type of golf. Well, at least he thought before the final round today. Tiger Woods on the par 3. Check it out. This is nice. Almost holds it. Beautiful thing. Tiger Woods, the #1 rated golfer in the world right now. It doesn't get any better than that. He would birdie to go up 1. Darren Clark on number 4. That's a birdie as well. He is up 1. Now let's go to the 8th hole. Tiger Woods will win this hole, and we are tied. We're even, folks, in match play. Darren Clark on the 23rd. He starts to pull away from the world's top-ranked player to go 2 up. Tiger tries to chip out of the bunker. No, didn't work this time. That would be a bogey. Darren Clark wins match play over Tiger Woods.
That'll do.
Yeah, that will do, won't it? Oh, almost. Anyway, match play 4 and 3 for Darren Clark. He also pockets the $1 million.
Okay, we're back now, and we're here with Cordell Patrick, one of KSAT's great sportscasters. Now, Cordell, you have to be impartial when you're on TV.
Always.
But I kind of have a feeling that maybe you're a fan of a particular team. Maybe
someone is feeding you bad information. I don't understand what you're talking about, but let me turn my computer off here and get some of this stuff out of the way.
See, that's what I thought. Now, why Kansas?
Born in Kansas City, raised in Topeka, Kansas, about 20 minutes from the campus of the University of Kansas. Always been a huge fan.
Okay, well, how did you get from Kansas to here?
I played basketball, Southwest Texas State University. Got a scholarship, went there and played basketball.
You got any pictures? What you? I mean, you played basketball. I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, I played basketball there, but that was a little while ago when the afro was in style.
Well, so maybe we won't see those.
Yes, hopefully we won't.
Exactly. Well, I know that you get to go to tons of great events. You get to go to the Super Bowl, to the World Series. What is that like?
It's unbelievable to be able to go to the Super Bowl, NBA Finals, the All-Star games. You get to interact with people. I go to boxing with Mike Tyson. I even get a chance to talk to Michael Jordan, your airness himself, and you can't beat that. And the station pays for all of it.
Well, there you go. You get to go for free. Yes. Well, tell me about this. What advice would you have to someone that's trying to get into TV?
I talk to kids all the time about television. Very hard industry to get into, but some of the things that fueled me, when people tell you no, I mean,
you can't listen.
I mean, you can't listen. You just have to do it. I've always wanted to do this from when I was in high school. People told me, no, you can't do it, but I'm here doing it. I'm on television. Do not accept no. I didn't. You didn't either, did you?
You're exactly right. Well, let's take a look at Cordell in action.
Well, the way to get traded to a winning ball club.
When you watch Cordell Patrick doing this in front of the camera, you can be sure that a lot of preparation went on before he stepped into the studio. The first thing Cordell does is look over the sports news and the list of video received from the network. After selecting stories for his sportscast, he writes the script he will read on the air. Once the script is printed, the sports producer, Jeff Bowers, edits videotapes to match what Cordell will say. After all the stories are ready, Cordell reads over the script one last time while looking at the matching video.
Game winner goes to New Orleans for the Super Bowl. Patriots are 7-point favorites to play in the Super One.
A few last-minute preparations and it's off to the studio for the show. Now here's something we bet you didn't know. When Cordell is on camera and it looks like he's standing in front of this, he's actually standing in front of this. We'll show you more on this TV trick a little later.
The Battle of Missouri, much too close for the Kansas City Chiefs. Bottom line, they escaped St. Louis and the TWA Dome with a hard-fought 28-20 win for their 6th win of the year. And who will be baseball's best? Game 7 highlights of the World Series next.
This is the Dodge Sports Sunday with sports director Cordell Patrick.
Good late evening to you. The 1997 World Series, as seen right here on NBC 41, came down to a Game 7. Florida wins the 1997 Fall Classic. Highlights after our Chiefs coverage. Well, the weather may be bad outdoors, but it's climate control at the TWA Dome in St. Louis. Chiefs going for their 5th win, I should say 6th win of the year, but it was the Rams who scored the first touchdown. Andre Bruce, who has been bothered by a bad hamstring, it was good enough to beat Dale Carter. The Rams go up 7-3. Chiefs bounce back. Brett Perryman, who, the often injured Lake Dawson, makes a great catch in the end zone. Play cover 21 yards. Kansas City has a 14-7 lead. Chiefs defense large. Tony Banks blasted by Von Booker. He had to leave the ball game. Mark Rippon replaced him and threw an interception that led to a Stoyanovich field goal. Chiefs then went up 17-7. The much maligned Lawrence Phillips got the Rams back into the ball game. This 1-yard touchdown cut the Chiefs' lead to 17-14. But defensively, the first half belongs to the Rams' Leslie O'Neal. Not 1, not 2, but 3 sacks in the first half by O'Neal, who Marty Schottenheimer called one of the best at his position. And O'Neal wasn't done. In the third quarter, look out Elvis. Jeff Criswell being used by O'Neal. Elvis almost gets broken in half. His 4th sack of the game. Fortunately, the Chiefs recovered. And when you're that close to the goal line, who do you call? Marcus Allen. Chiefs go up 28-14. Allen's 117th career rushing touchdown. There is the final. Kansas City wins 28-20. Chiefs defensive coordinator Gunther Cunningham made some, at that time, controversial decisions in the offseason. One was moving Donnie Edwards into one of the starting linebacker spots. Donnie Edwards, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How does it feel being a starter?
It feels pretty great when you're out there being able to go around and make some plays.
And winning, too, as well, huh?
Oh, definitely. We're 6-2. We got a good start on the first half of the season, and we're anticipating the second half of the season.
Well, the Rams have a young and inexperienced football team, and it kind of showed today. A number of turnovers for the Rams, 4 to be exact. And look at number 59 right there, sticking his hand in there, causing the turnover. You get credit with what on that play?
A caused fumble.
A caused fumble, and your teammate gets to celebrate, huh?
And, yeah, Anthony Davis.
Well, the Chiefs may not admit it publicly, but behind closed doors, they are not very confident about their offensive line. 41 Sports has learned that after the Chiefs' preseason loss in St. Louis, the coaching staff could only scratch their heads about the O-line's poor play. Starting quarterback Elvis Gerbach was on the run all night long, sacked twice, pressured numerous times. 41 Sports has learned that the Chiefs will fly offensive tackle Glenn Parker into town for a workout. Parker was cut by Buffalo because of a salary cap problem. He played 8 seasons for the Bills. He played in all 4 Bills Super Bowl appearances. Experts around the league say that Parker still has skills and that his release from Buffalo was strictly a salary cap move so that the team could give Bruce Smith more money. If the Chiefs want to make a move on Parker, they better not drag their feet. Another team is also in the running for Parker's services, and that team would be the Denver Broncos. Chiefs have their lineup set for Sunday's season opener in Denver, and Marty Schottenheimer is hoping to get the job done with 11 new starters, 6 on offense, 5 on defense, where the theme is youth, speed, and playmaking. Here's the starting offense, along with Elvis, Greg Hill, and Kimball Anders. Ted Popson gets the start at tight end. Andre Rison at receiver, and Lake Dawson gets his starting job back since Brett Perryman is still injured. On the D side, Donnie Edwards beat out Tracy Simeon for the inside linebacker position. He joins the other 3 96 draft picks on the starting defense, Jerome Woods, John Browning, and Reggie Tongue, who gets the start at strong safety since Kevin Ross is injured. Derek Thomas is practicing again, but it's still a question mark for the season opener in Denver on Sunday. Meantime, 5 rookies were named to the practice squad. Former Kansas receiver Isaac Byrd joins Jesse Haynes from Northwest Missouri State, Mark Smith, Pete Swanson, and Van Washington. One name not on the list, June Henley, the former KU standout, was cut from the Chiefs Sunday. Many thought he would end up on the Chiefs practice squad. Instead, he signed with the Rams today. Marty says he saw Henley as a fullback and just doesn't have enough room for another one of those on this roster.
Given the fact that we've got Kimball and Donnell and Tony Richardson, there just wasn't going to be a spot for June. And so what we've opted to do is go in another direction and get a halfback on the roster. But I still think June can be a very good player in this league.
So do I. To say that the Royals and Orioles are going in opposite directions, well, that's an understatement. Baltimore has baseball's best record. They've won 5 in a row, while the Royals, owners of the 5th worst record and a 5-game losing streak. The Royals didn't waste any time in the first. Jay Bell at bat, 1 on board. He goes opposite field. Ball goes over the right field wall. The Royals take a quick 2-0 lead. The very next batter is Chili Davis, and guess what? If Jay Bell can do it, so can Davis. His 28th homer of the year, Royals up 3-0. But with one swing of the bat, Brady Anderson goes yard, slammed out his 2nd career grand slammer. It was 4-0. Now it's tied at 4. Top of the 9th, Johnny Damon running for 3rd. Jed Hansen brings him home and also brings home a Royals victory. As we go to the board, Kansas City snaps a 5-game losing streak. Baltimore's 5-game win streak comes to an end. Kansas City 5, Baltimore 4. The greatest track and field athlete ever called it quits tonight. Carl Lewis anchored the men's 400-meter relay tonight to victory in Berlin. Lewis, who ran his last race, received a standing ovation from the crowd. In 17 years of track and field, Lewis won 9 Olympic gold medals. He won a gold last year in the long jump at the age of 35. Whether you like Lewis or not, he's one of the greatest athletes of our time. Former Kansas basketball star B.J. Williams won't have to face a misdemeanor charge of domestic battery. Douglas County prosecutors dropped the charges after the alleged victim, Williams' wife, changed her story. Williams was arrested in May after his wife claimed that he hit her in the eye. The Greater Kansas City Sports Commission and Foundation has called a news conference for tomorrow morning to announce a major women's sporting event coming to Kansas City. 41 Sports has learned that major event will be a women's preseason exhibition professional basketball game featuring some of the top women basketball players in the world. Who is the manager for the Baltimore Orioles?
Can't imagine.
Well, that's a toughie right there.
Tough one.
That is a toughie. Davy Johnson is your man. And if you missed that one, boy, public flogging tomorrow morning.
Public flogging.
Public flogging tomorrow morning.
Thanks,
okay.
Cordell.
All right, now for a more sane news conference than Mike Ditka, Cordell Patrick joins us with what happened at Coach Schottenheimer's news conference today.
Kind of uneventful. They even served the local media dinner. Chiefs' next opponent, a Monday night matchup against the Steelers. And one of the best trick plays that you'll ever see in high school football. You won't want to miss it. Sports is next. Since it is close to Halloween, I thought you would like to see some tricks and some treats for one Kansas high school football team. Quarterback for Flint Hills takes the snap from center, plays like he's talking to someone on the sidelines. Folks, that is a live play. The Elk City Club doesn't realize it. It's much too late. Yes, that is what I like to see. Daniel Scribner goes the distance at Flint Hill. Look at it again. Check it out. Just plays like he's talking to somebody. See you, Daniel. Bye. Touchdown.
That is cool.
They kind of wasted the play, though. They won 55-6. You could have saved it for a game that really meant something.
I would have saved
outstanding play anyway.
It's fun to watch, yeah.
We used to do that on the playground.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Cordell.
Yeah. And welcome back to River Falls, Wisconsin. It's family fun night. The Kansas City Chiefs going through some drills right now as they prepare for a scrimmage a little bit later on. And welcome back, Cordell Patrick, along with Dave Crum of NBC 41. There wouldn't be so much excitement about the upcoming season if it weren't for the disappointment of the '97 season.
Yeah, who would have imagined the Chiefs would be 13-3 and win the AFC West, huh?
A lot of you out there already know that Don Fortune of KMBZ Radio is a member of our NBC 41 sports family. So Don, being a knowledgeable guy, at least he says so, we went to Don and we asked him what he thinks about the Kansas City Chiefs and the upcoming season. Lisa, don't for 1 minute think that the Chiefs aren't feeling the pressure for Sunday's ball game against the Oakland Raiders. Not only do they need to win for playoff reasons, but for confidence purposes as well. And don't forget, Gunther Cunningham's former boss is Al Davis.
I think they're amiable. I think it was just two stubborn people working with each other.
And let's not forget that the Oakland Raiders come into this ball game with the same 5-5 record as the Kansas City Chiefs. So playoff implications for both clubs. Game time tomorrow. Lisa? Welcome back to the Dodge Sports Sunday. Cordell Patrick with you. He is the creator of Tybo. He is a martial arts expert. Billy Blanks, welcome to Kansas City.
Thank you, sir.
They've been treating you well here?
Yeah, man, I'm having a good time. Been traveling all around, meeting people, and that's all right.
I got to ask you, I mean, you come to Kansas City. Have you had any barbecue yet?
Not yet. Looking forward, though. Looking forward.
You got to have the barbecue.
I know.
Don't let them get you out of town without having the barbecue.
I won't do that.
Now, you're a black belt, right?
Yes, sir.
What degree?
7th degree black belt.
I got a black belt on. I think I can take it.
That's all right, you know.
I can take it.
Hey.
Billy Blanks, thanks
Thank you,
for
sir.
taking time out. Billy Blanks, enjoy yourself in Kansas City.
Thank you.
Okay. It was a serious turn of events. John Tate and his agent flew into town last night hoping to end a summer of stalemate between them and the Chiefs. But when Tate was a no-show at practice this afternoon, then after an evening meeting with Carl Peterson ended with Tate walking out, the agent and his war of words began.
And one of the things that I want to do is something that I owe to John's dad. He was very upset by statements that were made inside the Chiefs organization about John during this whole thing, and I promised him when this was over, and we thought it would be concluded, we thought we would have a contract, that I would rehabilitate John, that light's hard for me, rehabilitate John's character in the press, because he's a very good person.
Tate and his agents dealt with the Chiefs even after some personal attacks, but what happened at their meeting today with Carl Peterson was unacceptable.
I stood up and I said, don't talk to him like that. He's 24 years old. He was yelling at him and trying to intimidate him. And Carl Peterson got up from behind his desk and said, sit the f*** down. He leaned over to me and went like that. John, when that happened, John Tate stood up and said, that's it. And I said, F you, Carl, and we walked out.
And for one of the few times, and maybe even the only time, the man who has been called King Carl may have been knocked off of his throne.
I think there were probably some voices raised. I apologize for anything that I might have said in a profane sense, but I think I did have some points to make.
You know, I don't know if he just lost control.